Alrighty, hello everyone, this is Halloween Hunter here, and today Spirit Halloween just recently had a huge Halloween drop. So just like last year, where last year they did a end of June Halloween drop where most of their props were dropped and you can go ahead and buy those, Spirit Halloween has kind of done the same thing here. So today we finally have what is called the Carnevil cast revealed, and basically every prop that was teased from that list of props we had has now been officially released. Now there is some catches here. Unlike last year, most of the items aren't available for purchase. It's only a select few, and not every prop currently has videos. I'm not really sure why, only a few do. Like, especially all the ones with stock have videos, but then there's a few with no stock that has videos, so I'm not really sure why some props have videos and some props don't. It's kind of weird, but we at least have a big teaser, so the props we see officially revealed with no videos kind of has something in there. So let's go ahead and finally dive deep into this. We're first going to start off with the props that do have stock on the website, but before we start with the props in stock, we have to go ahead and take a look at this one prop. Now, in this teaser shot, this was the only prop that wasn't officially released yet. It seems to be some girl carver. She's like dressed in this 50s outfit. She's got like a dress on, knife in her hand, and it looks like she carved her face out. And it looks like her arm moves a bit, but she looks really cool. I wish she was officially revealed here. It doesn't seem like she'll be an in-store thing, unfortunately, but she does seem really cool, so I do definitely want to see more of her. Starting off with our first prop released in stock, we have is the Night Terror animatronic, retailing for $100. And this thing, I hate to start so low, but I think this is the only prop on this list that I just flat out don't like. Now, I do get the appeal for this prop. It's supposed to be like a budget prop because not everybody can afford the big $300, $250 prop. So getting a prop that's only $100 honestly is a better deal for those who can't afford the big thing. But for me, we've had budget props in the past that are definitely a lot better than this. This guy just feels like a Sunstar prop, but made by Spirit Halloween, which the face looks kind of cool, I guess. The body's generic and kind of ugly looking. It's got, I guess, okay hands, but it's got that like head bobbing animation, which is like used on a lot of Sunstar items, which is definitely not really great here. And also too, the audio is kind of funny. It's just, I don't know, this prop is to me nothing great or good. I would not get this prop at all personally, even at the half off sale. It kind of just feels like a glorified Sunstar prop at Spirit. I get the appeal of it in a way, but I just don't really think that's done that well. And personally, me being even a pumpkin fan, I'm not going to be getting this one. Next we have is the demonic Gatekeeper, retailing for $200. This seems to be a giant groundbreaker skeleton, and he looks really huge just from the video. I mean, his hands look ginormous, his head looks really big, his clothing kind of generic but still kind of cool. This animatronic is interesting. Like, its body goes from 3.5 feet and rises to 4.7 feet, which is kind of cool for an animation that goes over a foot taller. But I don't know, this one, I think the audio is cool and the face looks cool and the mouth moves. But for me, nothing too interesting. It's a fine prop and I might like it better in person, but right now I just don't really care too much about it. But I will say it's not bad at all. It's cool for what it is, just nothing that interests me a lot personally. Next we have is the 6.1 foot, the Cremator animatronic. Now, the reason why I went animatronic is because this prop's not actually an animatronic. It's a light and sound prop. When you watch the video, it does nothing. I mean, the most it does is that the light flickers inside of the body, it looks like, or at least the skull too. So it does have some sort of a cool vibe with it. It's supposed to be a cremator, so it's holding a skull. You can see the fiery effect inside of it. It's got like this like hooded design over it. I like the character of this. I like the ominous feel of this one. I think when we get like Phantom-esque props like this, it's really classical feeling, but also kind of like ominous and creepy. And I honestly would like this one more. It's just the fact it's $200, which normally, you know, I'll let a bad price slide with a coupon, but this, even with the coupon, it's not worth it. I think honestly, this should have been the $100 budget prop, if anything, not Night Terror. I think this should have been the budget prop because this prop does look really cool and it is techie. I mean, the voice of it screams techie, but I feel like for the deal, you're not really getting what you want. I think the static props are really good, but I think this one is just way too much for what it is, especially since this is a mostly cloth prop, so you don't really have a lot of detail with it. I think it's just too expensive. Next we have is the 3-foot Tombstone Ghoul, retailing for $180. And I think, honestly, this one is one at first I thought was just too generic. However, in the video, kind of like it. I mean, the audio obviously is overused audio from like other props we've seen from SVI, but I kind of do like the concept of this one being kind of more like a graveyard filler prop. Sits behind the tombstone and kind of just twitches around, which is good animation. It's basically just like a smaller twitching prop, but with a gravestone. And honestly, I kind of like it just for the fact if you have a big graveyard, this would actually look pretty cool in it, just to be more like a scenery filler thing. It's not supposed to be like a big standout piece, but I think in a good graveyard setting, this will fill the spot just fine and do its job. And for me, I do like the graveyard filler props, so I kind of want this guy just for that. I will say it's probably like the best tombstone prop we've had in a long time at Spirit. It's fine, I think it's well done, just nothing crazy here. But I will say I might get this one in the future, like during the season, depending on my budget, just for the fact that this can be a really good graveyard filler prop. Next we have is the 7.9 foot max straw animatronic, retailing for also $180, and this prop, I love it. I really want to get this one. I love this prop max straw. Now, at first, I was a bit iffy on it just because I'm a scarecrow guy, but the face looked a bit weird at first. The face is definitely going to make sense. And honestly, I am fine with this one's animation just being the head turn. I think it's fine there. He's pretty tall for $180 for Spirit. I mean, 8 feet tall, $180, really good price. But also too, according to the description, this guy's gonna be an indoor and outdoor rated prop, which is amazing. I love it when props like this are able to be used outdoors. Even in the rain, that really works well for me, especially being this tall of a prop. I definitely want to go ahead and get this guy and have him outside of my yard, and definitely one I will have to pick up this season. Next we have is a flashback animatronic. We have is the 7 foot creepy towering clown, who is now back at Spirit Halloween. Now, I am a big fan of creepy towering clown. I have him. I have the original one, and I think for him being such an iconic prop for his time and really being the clown that starts this whole mess of clown props right after him, I think him returning, especially on the clown year, makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, he is online only, so it kind of does suck. It's not going to be in stores with the clown theme. And this guy's going to be a $230 prop, which is $20 more than his 2019 price tag, being at $210 back then. So $230, I still think it's worth it, just because back in 2017 when he first came out, I thought he was going to be a $230 prop, but he was only $200 back then. So him being $230 just now, I think it's fine. Personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This guy does reuse the old stock images and description. However, the page is entirely new. It's not reused from the original model. It just seems they made a new page and then brought everything back from the old page and just kind of slapped it onto that page. So nothing crazy there, no new like demo. The demo is still the 2018 background setting. However, Spirit Halloween did kind of make a new video because yes, they brought back the 2018 video, but it's edited different. Like, it's got a different logo in the corner, a different outro, and it's got different unused shots from the demo as opposed to being fully reused from the 2018 demo. So technically kind of new. I mean, it's still the same footage, but it's new shots we haven't seen before, so it's technically a new demo, I guess. But still, hey, I mean, at least it's something. It's cool to see Grimsey here. I really want to see how his new head looks. I probably won't get him right now. I might get him later on, depending on how the new head looks. I already had the original one, so I'm not in a dire need for this one. Really awesome to see Creepy Towering Clown back. He's definitely a really awesome animatronic. Next we have is another flashback. We have the return of Cerberus. And I'm not going to go in this video and talk about why I think the return is kind of weird. I already kind of talked about it in my last video with the names officially revealed. So I won't go into that with this video. What I will say, Cerberus coming back for a third time, kind of weird. I mean, now 2 flashbacks of him. This guy, unlike Creepy Towering Clown, does reuse his old page from 2019, which was reused from 2015, so it's the same page from the last 9 years, same description and everything. However, there is a few differences. He's got new stock photos and a new live image, and he's supposed to have a new demo. However, it's still the old demo, so it's not anything currently new with the footage. I'm sure they'll go ahead and eventually update that to be the new demo. However, it is really cool to see Cerberus back. He's had a $10 increase from 2019. He's now $200. Back in 2019, he was $190. However, this is what sets him apart from the others. He now has a sale tag of $130 as opposed to being $200 the full season. He's got a seasonal sale tag. So what this means is that Cerberus is likely going to go ahead and return every single year at Spirit Halloween stores. I doubt he's going to be on display every single year, but for example, we have Man's Possessed Friend, same price tag, same price sale tag, and then we also have the Sturdy Scarecrows with a sale tag, and then we also have the Spiders with a sale tag. Cerberus is now amongst one of those props to go ahead and finally have a sale tag, which means Cerberus is now a staple prop at Spirit Halloween, which is kind of weird just because a Flashback has never done this, and again, it's Cerberus, just very random. But honestly, for $130, I can see why people would want this one. I myself am getting Cerberus from this drop. So yeah, even though I'm complaining about the return, I will say for $130, Cerberus is a definite cop for me. The final prop that is currently in stock right now and officially released is the 6.2 foot Cotton Candy Dan for $330. Now this guy is the Cotton Candy prop, of course, the name too. He is the prop with the Cotton Candy dish, and he is a clown with a really scarred up face, and he holds a stick, and the stick pops up to show a head underneath the cotton candy, and I think this guy's just so awesome, and he is again one of the ones I actually did get from this drop. He is really awesome, and I love his audio, his face, his mouth movement, his animation. This guy looks super awesome and is possibly one of the best clowns ever. I have not been this excited for a clown in a long time. This guy is phenomenal. He looks really good, and overall I think he's a really well done clown, and I cannot wait to go ahead and have him on this channel. Now that we are done with the props with stock and videos, let's go ahead and talk about the props that are officially revealed now. They just don't have any stock currently. So let's go ahead and start with the world famous entertainers, aka all of the licensed props from this drop. So first we're going to start off with the Ghostface animatronic from Scream. Now I think to point out here is that the listing says Deluxe Ghostface and not just Ghostface, and that's because according to the prop links, there's also going to be a static version of Ghostface this year, more in line with just a normal Fun World Ghostface. But this one seems to be kind of a mix of a Fun World Ghostface and one that's with the movie. He looks actually pretty good for the most part. I will say in like the video and some of the stock images, the clothing looks a bit janky. Like it doesn't really look like proportionally fit on him. And his motion is just way too violent almost. All he does really is tilt his head back and forth, which is really good movement. And then he starts slashing really fast. I think it's good animation. It's just really janky. It does kind of wiggle the prop a bit. However, honestly, giving it some time to let it breathe a little bit, I think it's not really the same level as like the original Jemmy Ghostface from 2011. But I will say, for a much modern take on a Ghostface and being its own like yard Halloween prop, this is actually a pretty good Ghostface. And what's cool about this Ghostface that separates it from this one and any other one we've had is that it has not only an interchangeable knife and machete, but it also has interchangeable mask. So you can have a bloody up mask of Ghostface, or you can have the more like aged Ghostface mask with like some of the rips and the paint and the dirt. I think both options are really nice, and I like the different options with the machete and the knife. They're both bloody as well, so this prop is pretty good with the blood. I'm not really a big fan of the machete, just because you have to put it facing up, and it kind of just is like almost slashing back, but it's not a big deal. I think it's just cool regardless to have different options with this character. 2 different masks, really good stuff there. I think it's actually a pretty good prop. It's going to be $280 when it comes out, which is honestly not a bad price considering our licensed props like last year and in the past were getting very high priced. $280 is definitely a fine price for this. And I will say, though it's kind of like janky and a little bit weird with the clothing and the motion making the whole body shake, I gotta say, I do like this Ghostface a lot, and it definitely has grown on me a lot to the point where I actually kind of want to get this one and just do some slight modifications with this one. Now I'm going to talk about Michael Myers next, because Michael Myers is interesting. Now, this is the new Michael Myers animatronic, and kind of like Ghostface, it's not perfect. This one seems to be more like a redone version of the 2018 Michael Myers, which That Michael Myers was definitely a bit rough in some areas, so having it like kind of redone here and done better, I think, is really good. Not only does it have the arm movement with the knife and the body turning, but it also has some head turning, which is really good for the prop. Adds more to the character. I actually wish that this guy's head and the Ghostface head mech was swapped, because I feel like this guy would work a lot better with the head tilting, but not a big deal there. I'm glad it still at least has more animation. His suit looks better, bloodied up knife, really good there. His mask is actually pretty good this time around. It's not actually that bad. My complaints with it though are eyes look a bit strange. Not the worst thing though. I honestly think the mask here looks fine. You could just go ahead and put like a Trick or Treat Studios mask over it and it'd be pretty much perfect. But I think for me, I might just go ahead and fluff the hair a bit and maybe fix the eyes just to make it the best thing it can be. It's not perfect, but I feel like this prop and Ghostface are just like better versions of their original counterparts. Like Michael's obviously more like a better 2018 version, and Ghostface feels like a proper modern Ghostface prop over that 2021 like stupid Hauntress reskin we got. So it's cool to get like two proper, I think personally me, good versions of these animatronics. At first, I wasn't really sure how I felt about them, but I think I've let time kind of let them grow on me. And even though they're still not perfect, I just love Michael Myers and Ghostface. So for me, I kind of want to get these ones and just make it a bit better. Even though I have those original Gemmy ones, I still want more of them. So honestly, they're cool props. Michael Myers is also going to be $280, and unfortunately for him, he is online only this year, which sucks because I love Michael Myers and I wish I could see him in stores and get him in stores, but it seems he will have to be an online purchase this year for me. And then we also have Art the Clown, but I've already done a separate video on that guy. So if you want to go ahead and check out my opinions on him, go ahead and check out that old video from a few weeks ago. What we're now talking about is Emily and Victor from Corpse Bride. Now, these two props are separate. I know some people were confused if these were going to be one prop together or two separate. They are two separate props. We'll start off with Emily first because let's be honest here, I think Emily is definitely the coolest one of the two. I mean, Victor's awesome too, but I think Emily, being the Corpse Bride, is the main star of the show here, and she's really awesome. I cannot believe we have a licensed prop like this nowadays. I think honestly, these two props, just in general, Victor and Emily, are probably the best licensed props from Spirit since the old Jimmy Horror character days. And I would even say these ones are probably better than a lot of those ones too. So Emily here turns side to side, her eyes blink, and she's got a servo head function where her head kind of tilts around. It is such awesome animation. This feels like the Jack and Sally prop from Spirit in 2017, 2018, but if they were just done like right. And Emily's gonna be a $300 prop, which honestly is a pretty good deal considering all the animation you get and how amazing she looks. Like these look like they're pulled straight from the movie. The clothing, the face molds, the hair, the dress, all look amazing. Now Victor here is gonna be a $270 prop, which makes sense. He's not as engaging, I feel like, as Emily here. But just like her, he looks phenomenal. Great suit, great pants, great face, great hair. Looks pulled straight from the movie. And Victor does the exact same thing with the torso movement, the eyes blinking, and the servo head tilting. It all looks super awesome. And what's cool about these guys is not only can they be separate props as their own, but they have a function where you can go ahead and connect them together and they can interact with each other, which is amazing. That function is so awesome. I'm glad we're getting props like that again. Like for me, like just seeing more interactive props and seeing that you can pair these guys together makes this prop a million times better. Both of them a million times better. Such amazing pieces. And for me, I am 100% gonna go ahead and buy both of these props. They're probably in my top 3, top 5 this year from Spirit. They are both phenomenal animatronics. So Spirit Halloween, these are some of your best licensed props ever, and definitely your best modern licensed props to date. Now we'll go off to the main attractions. We've already talked about Cotton Candy Dan, but we'll first go ahead and talk about the Ringmaster. Now this is where the videos end. Unfortunately, we don't really have good videos of any of this stuff. We see some clips in the teaser, but again, none of these videos are officially out yet. I'm not really sure how I feel exactly about every single props animation because we don't really see a lot of it. But according to the description, it seems the Ringmaster tilts his body back to kind of show this projection inside of his body. And this projection is actually that black heart looking sculpt head we saw from the half of the Halloween teaser. That makes so much more sense here considering we were not really sure what that was for. A really unique face. The face is kind of weird, I will say. It's a bit weird in some angles. I gotta see definitely more videos of this guy. The Ringmaster is gonna retail for $330, which might be worth it if we see more of this guy. It's just kind of debating on how this guy really feels. So I'll kind of wait to judge his price tag, but I guess we will have to wait and see on this one. Next we have is Nibbles the Clown. Now, Nibbles the Clown is interesting. I do love this guy's sculpt a lot. I mean, he's not super unique. I think his face looks pretty cool. I like his suit, especially the coloring. This black and like yellowish orange color scheme for his clothing looks really good. He's got a little lollipop he's holding. He kind of does on the outside feel a bit more basic on like the SVI clown side. He's got a little jester hat, which is kind of weird, but I'm okay with that. The main appeal to this guy, that his arm moves up and down. He's got mouth movement. And he's also got, for the first time ever in retail Halloween prop in history, he's got a motion tracking device in his head. What I mean by that is basically he's got motion tracking, so his head is going to follow you wherever you go, or wherever motion it tracks, it's going to go ahead and follow its head with you. And I think that is phenomenal animation, and I cannot wait to see that on this prop and have it in person and just see that. Is going to be phenomenal. This guy's only going to be $300, which is such a good price. So I will say Nibbles here for $300 definitely seems worth it. And I am definitely buying this guy for sure. And I think honestly, he might be my favorite prop of the year. I don't know. This is definitely a hard one because we have Emmeline and Victor and Con Candy Dan. Next we have is Bobby Strings. He's definitely interesting. He's hung up like a marionette. He's got strings on him. His arms and legs move up and down. So kind of like a marionette. I'm a bit iffy on the face for sure. It's a bit weird looking. I think I just need to see it in person, but he does look really big. Bobby Strings is going to be $310, which is definitely a lot, but it might be worth it considering how fluid the animation is or how it exactly works. Next we have is Barnaby the Bear, and this guy's interesting. I like his overall design. The one thing I do not like though is his eyebrows. I don't know why he has eyebrows. It looks stupid. I'm going to take those off like him. He does not look great with them. He's going to be $280, which might be worth it. He is 6 feet tall and he does look pretty big. I think the bear's about maybe 4 feet tall, the bald maybe 2 feet tall. Apparently, according to like the small glimpses we see in the video, in the sneak peek video, his bald moves back and forth and his body kind of moves too, like side to side. It's a really weird mech. I want to see more with this one, how it exactly works. But I do kind of like it. I don't think it's anything like crazy for me. It's a very unique idea. I kind of like how this one moves. It's very different. And for me, I definitely want to go ahead and maybe get this guy. I'm not really sure yet, but maybe a purchase this year. Next we have is the Odysseys and the Curiosities. Most of these ones were the ones that were just in stock, so I've talked about most of these, but there is a few that aren't in stock that are on here. First we have is Wanda Webborn retailing for $270. And this one at first I wasn't sure about. I thought it was going to be like a half woman, half spider prop, but it turns out to be just this like giant mutant spider lady. And honestly, it looks really cool. I wish this one came out last year just for my lab, but I really do enjoy the appeal for this one. It's got the long spider legs, some spider legs sticking out. Apparently, according to the description and some of the clips we've seen, the mouth does move. Opposable legs where the front two legs do move up and down. And it's definitely a weird idea. It's not the same or usual idea we've seen, but honestly I kind of dig this prop just for being really different. I definitely want to see more of Wanda Webborn. Next is the 4.8 foot Dark Princess animatronic retailing for $180. And this prop at first, when I first saw it, I thought F tier, the name F tier, but honestly after watching the video and seeing more stock photos, I love this one. I am now a huge fan of this one. I love it a lot. The animation is actually pretty interesting. It's the Dagger Mike jump up mech, except this time it's kind of like Desmodus, where when it jumps up, the wings in the back actually flap up with the prop. So it's kind of like a Desmodus half Dagger Mike reskin, and I think it's really unique, and she just looks really creepy. I'm glad we're getting more possessed girl looking props. She looks very creepy. The face, the hollow out eyes and mouth, the creepy fabric and dress look pretty good. And then the wings, though kind of basic, do help the look a lot. This one just feels like a really well done possessed girl prop, and that's definitely something that's been lacking for Spirit for the last few years. So I'm definitely glad we're seeing more of that with this prop. It's super well done, and I think it's probably going to be one I pick up this year Definitely love this one quite a bit. Next we have is the 10-foot giant death ray animatronic, and this guy's interesting. This seems to be the equivalent of like Spear Halloween's 12-foot prop, because Spear Halloween can't really make 12-foot props. Most of their stores probably won't be able to fit that. However, Spear Halloween here has kind of made a compromise with that. Basically, it's just 10 feet tall. It's not the full 12 feet tall. It's got the servo animation in the head, and it's got a cool light effect where it kind of like shines throughout the body. It's very weird and different, but honestly, I do like this one quite a bit. It's grown on me a lot, and honestly, I kind of like this one quite a bit. Like, it's definitely one I want to maybe get. I wish this one also came out last year, just because I did a lab team last year. But regardless, this guy's awesome. The audio is like just mostly just like music, which is fine. It's kind of weird, but it's just fine. The light effect really helps. The hands are pretty cool. So, will I get this one? I'm not really certain on that, but I do definitely like it quite a bit from what we've seen. It's well done, and it actually, unlike this other props, does have an official video. So again, cool one to see, but not sure yet if I will get this one. And next is Blast from the Past. We've already talked about Cerberus and Creepy Towering Clown, so the only left prop here is the Twitching Banshee. Now, Twitching Banshee is back yet again. She was last at Spear Halloween in 2015 and 2016. And now they remade her this year for the 2024 Halloween season. She's going to be $230, just like Creepy Towering Clown. She is $30 more than her original price tag. Back then, she was $200, so quite a bit of a price raise. And this one's interesting because the look has definitely changed quite a bit. It's like a mix of like the original Twitching Banshee from Spirit Halloween, and then a mix of the Costco variant that came out in 2020. The Costco variant is very similar to this one. It just doesn't have the long strands of hair or that much hair. This one looks more like a combination of like the original one mixed in with that more modern Banshee to make now a remake version of the original Banshee. And I think honestly, this one is really cool. If I did not have Twitching Banshee, I probably would be very hyped for this one, but I do have the original Twitching Banshee, and I do just slightly like that one's face mold better. So I probably won't get that one for me personally. However, I think it's a really good flashback. She's got a new live set and stock images, no videos yet currently, but we all know what she does. She screams, her head kind of bobbles around when her body twitches. It looks really cool, so good flashback. Another one that's online only, but still, regardless, cool to see her back. And there is actually one more prop I didn't get to talk about just yet, just because for some reason, I don't know why, but Spirit decided to leave this one out on the Carnevil teaser, or like the name list, or the sneak peek list. But we have right here is the Towering Tula. She's going to be $330, basically just by the stock photos and the clip from the sneak peek. This is an unfolding mech prop, so basically a Mr. Dark Hellspawn reskin turned into a witch. And honestly, I'm a big fan of this one. I've seen a lot of hate for this one, but for me personally, so far, just from the animation, of course, being the unfolding mech, which is one of the most impressive mechs still for the Halloween retail industry, and being an actually, like, you know, cool looking witch, pretty on board with it, and I do definitely want this one. The audio is going to depend if this one is really, to me, better than like Hellspawn. I think so far from looks alone, it is better than Mr. Dark, and it's pretty on par with Hellspawn. I just need to hear the audio and then decide then if it is better. But right now, Towering Tula, really cool looking witch. I'm glad we're getting more characters with the unfolding mech. I'm glad it's not another unfolding demon prop, but an actual just different Halloween character. So I'm on board with it. Looks pretty cool. And with that being said, that finally wraps up every single Spirit Halloween prop released from this drop. I know there's been quite a bit of props released. I'm not really sure what's next. They're just going to go ahead and make a second drop because we still haven't seen, like, for example, everything in action yet. It almost feels like an early drop, and then maybe in the future we'll get a bigger drop. I'm not really sure on that, but I guess we'll wait and see. But regardless, I'm glad you guys stuck around for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next Halloween video.